Okay, I'm on my floor again, so you know I'm about to yap. Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's Nia TV, and in today's video, as you could tell from the title, I'm gonna be telling you guys about some of my current favorites. Whether that's from books to music to TV shows, I'm just gonna talk about it all because I know it's summertime, and obviously if you have some free time, you're gonna want something to do. I did a video similar to this last year, but it was more like things that you could do when you're bored. But like, I figured since I don't get to like kind of geek out about like my favorite things a lot on this channel, like I was literally yapping to the wall the other day just about like some of my favorite things, and I'm like, wait, like let me turn this into a YouTube video because I'm behind on recording and posting, so it's just like this is the perfect idea and I can give you guys some recommendations, and also feel free to drop some in the comments. All right, without further ado, let's get started. The first category that I'm gonna get started on is books. So I feel like a lot of people, actually maybe not, a lot of people might know this. I love to read. I can just like always get lost in like a really good book. And recently I've been in kind of a reading slump because like, I don't know, I just haven't seen any like real recommendations, and it's been a minute for me. But a couple months ago, I did have a bunch of books that like I really just resonated with, so I wanted to share those with you guys because like they still stick with me. Like I'm still just thinking about that book. So those are going to be included in this video. Okay, the first book that I want to talk about is Sula by Toni Morrison. Okay, so I originally had to read this book for a class that I was taking back in spring semester, and literally everybody else in my class, we had like a test on it, but our teacher was like, you guys have to read it on your own and then you're gonna take the test. But the test was like very specific to the point where like if you didn't read the book, you wouldn't understand. And I'm not the type of person who can like get away with not reading a book for a class. Like people always do like Spark Notes and stuff. Like no, I need to actually understand. So I was just like, let me give it a shot. And I've heard really good things about Toni Morrison, obviously for a reason, because this book even being recommended by me just says a lot. Like it's such a good read. It's also very short. It's only 174 pages. Basically, this book follows the story of two best friends, and it takes place in, I think it's called Bottomtown, which is like a predominantly Black town. There's like a lot of friendship, themes of love and betrayal. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. Like all the plot twists in this book had me. I found myself gasping left and right, and also getting like very mad at some of the stuff that would happen. But like it takes place over time, so each chapter is a different year. But like I highly recommend it. Like you could read this in a day if you wanted. Like, but it's that good that like I also couldn't put it down when I was reading for my class. Next book that I want to recommend is Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. This book, I also was introduced to it by the same class, but we watched the movie for it instead, and then it was extra credit to read like the last chapter and see like the differences between the book and the movie. The book is so good. Like, I actually need to reread this because I feel like there were some parts that I missed, because also, let me tell you this, I can't remember what the style of writing is called, but sometimes authors will like write words like people's accents, like kind of phonetically and stuff. So they're from somewhere in the South. So like if that would really bother you, I wouldn't recommend this to you, but it's honestly worth the read because it's just such like a beautiful love story, and like, ugh, it's so good. And if you don't want to read the book because of the accents, like the letters being written in accents, I would highly recommend the movie because the acting was very good. Halle Berry is the star of the movie. It's such a good movie. You should definitely watch it. The next book I want to recommend is Dance of Thieves. So this is kind of like a fantasy book, but this is like a long read. Like I haven't read this, okay, so I haven't read this since 8th grade, but it stays my favorite book, but I can barely describe to you what happened because it was that long ago, and it's a thick book, guys, okay? Like literally the words are so small on the page. Like, that is how much is in this book. But apparently I didn't know this before I read it, because I honestly read it because look at how pretty the cover is. Apparently it belongs to like another series from the same author, and this is like a spin-off. Honestly, the world building and stuff, you don't need to read the other book, because I thought it was very clear. Like, I didn't think that there was gonna be another book. Maybe I'll pick that up this summer if I can, but like, and like fully reread the series to see if I can get some type of insight. Like, there are a couple characters apparently from the other series, but it's not anything that you would notice. So you could start reading from this, and then there's a second book to it. It's called FAVS, which is also really good, but it's like the part 2 to this basically. But the next book that I want to talk about is The Bell Jar. So I actually don't have a physical copy of that book because I borrowed it from the library, but I've also just been thinking about that book a lot. Like, I think that's one of the books that I would like read again to see what I could take away from it, because it follows this one girl and like kind of her like descent into like mental illness and like depression and stuff. It's by Sylvia Plath, and obviously like I would recommend doing research on Sylvia Plath to also really like fully understand the story and stuff, because we all know how her life tragically ended. So like you can kind of see like where she's coming from, but also she's a poet first, and the book was just so beautifully written. Like, that's what I really appreciated about it too. Like, I was just like, while I was reading, I was just getting like lost in every word. Like, not like lost, but like it was so like very like spot on. She was very descriptive, and it was really good. Another book that I want to recommend is I Have No Mouth But I Must Scream. So don't even ask me how I found out about this book. Actually, yeah, I'll tell you. Literally, I was like scrolling on TikTok and people were like just saying that, and I just thought that was like a phrase or something. So then I looked it up, and then it was like an actual book. It's very short. I can't remember how many pages it was. I feel like it was like 12 pages or something. I don't know. It's basically this like kind of dystopian book where this AI, his name is Am, he literally basically kills off the human race, and he keeps these 5 people left on Earth to torture them for all eternity. But like, it was so well written as well, and it's honestly very like scary to think about. I don't know anybody else who's like in my life who's read this book, so if you've read this book, please comment and like let's talk about it, because I'm still thinking about it. I just thought the whole story was interesting, and honestly with like the rise of AI and stuff, like I think it's very possible, because like AI is not human. It will never be able to understand us, and like that's probably the scariest part, because that's also like the motivations of Am and stuff. Like, he'll never understand humans, so all he can do is hate them. And it was just so good. It was so good. Guys, please read it. I'm not even going to talk about it more because I don't want to spoil it. Read it. If you can find it, read it. Okay, and on like a kind of less serious note, the last book that I want to recommend in today's video is Shatter Me. This book, I read this last summer. There were a couple of vlogs that I made last summer where I was just like, day in my life, and then I was reading this book. I kid you not, I read this first book in 2 days because I just could not put it down. And like, let me just say this, it's a very YA book. It's a very like TikTok book talk book, okay? Like, is it actually that good? Probably not. It's low-key kind of corny, but it's the type of corniness that you're just gonna need. Like, you just need to read it. Like, some things I just found funny, and also like the main character girl, she makes me so mad. Let me talk about like what even happens in this book, because I feel like I gave no context to any of the recommendations, but I'm not filming this again. So anyways, so the book follows our main character Juliet, and basically she has like this superpower where she can't touch anybody because she'll destroy them, literally. This book is so like fun. Like, it's just so like childish. Like, you just have to read it. You just have to read it. It's also very dystopian and stuff. It's low-key kind of like Divergent. It's like that type of vibe. So if you liked that, like, this is like the very corny version of both of those.
Okay guys, so actually I'm in a Starbucks right now, so sorry if you can't hear me, but I'm literally editing this video and I just feel like I didn't do my explanation justice, and also like I just reread the entire series last week, and yes, the entire series. Like, I started from book one and finally finished it, so I can give like an honest opinion on it now that I have like it's fresh in my mind and I have more context. As I was saying in that clip, Juliet has like a lethal touch, and um, it'll like literally kill people if she touches people. She hates that power, and like is like she starts in this asylum, and low-key you're gonna hate her in book one, two, and possibly even three. But you know what? She gets better after that. I wouldn't call her likable, but I would call her more tolerable. So, and essentially the whole point of the book is supposed to be these like teenagers to early adults fighting against like the corrupt government and stuff. And most of them have like supernatural abilities. Most of the people who are fighting have some type of like actual connection to the government, which is probably why it was like so easy for them to bring it down, I guess. Just in general, I feel like the world building stuff is actually better in the rest of the series. Like, because one critique that I have of this book is because Juliet is in the asylum for 264 days and literally like is just worried about herself and how much she hates her power and like how she's like mentally broken or whatever. We don't really get a lot of context as to why the world is the way it is in the story, because there's like this whole thing called the reestablishment, and like they just took over the world. They're trying to get rid of books and any type of like differentiation between humans and stuff, and it's just like Juliet doesn't really know anything. I feel like we really start to find that out in like later books from other characters once we start hearing their other perspectives. But honestly, it's a fun read. Go ahead and read it, guys. It's definitely more romance driven than like dystopian and stuff. Honestly, by the end of the book, I feel like I'm still left with some questions, like why is the reestablishment a thing in the first place? Like, who are all these people, and why did they just decide, you know what, heck yeah, let's literally take over the world and start removing XYZ? How did it even get to that point? Maybe that those questions are answered in the novellas. I personally haven't read those, and I don't think I will. But it was a really good book, guys. Like, it was like a really fun series, guys. So please read it.
But if you have any recommendations for me, I'm taking them because I really need to get out of like whatever type of reading slump that I'm in. But those are my recommendations for now. The next section that I want to talk about is movies and TV shows. So I feel like recently I've also been in like a TV show slump because a lot of the shows that I'm going to recommend are ones that you could binge for like long periods of time. But for me, every single time I do that, I never finish the show. I could get a million spoilers and then I'll pick it back up and then I'll just have to drop it because I just feel like a lot of the shows, like, they just make me anxious and just like also upset. So it's just like I just have to like take a break from the show. I don't think I've ever finished a TV show, but they're still very good and I plan on picking them up again because I'm recommending them for a reason, guys. All the movies, I've finished them, and my thing with movies is that I could watch a movie over and over again if I like it enough. Okay, the first movie that I want to recommend is K-pop Demon Hunters. I watched it on my flight back from St. Thomas. Guys, that movie is so good. I went into it with like low-key low expectations because I'm not really a fan of K-pop, I'm gonna be honest. But like the music, fire. Storyline, fire. But like it was really good, but my problem with it is that it felt too short. Like I heard on TikTok that it was actually supposed to be 3 hours long. I would have sat down for that entire movie and enjoyed it thoroughly. I highly recommend you guys like it, even if you like don't really like K-pop and stuff. It's also been compared to Sinners because they have like a very similar plot lines, which Sinners is also one of my favorite movies right now. Like I literally went into the theater with my parents one time to watch it, and then I went with my friend another time. It was that good. Both soundtracks are very good, and they talk about how like music is very like spiritual and stuff. It's just amazing, and I would recommend both of those movies actually. Another movie that I really loved is Waves. If you haven't heard of Waves, what are you doing? I feel like Waves is just a movie about life and loss. It's just so beautifully shot. It's an A24 movie, so that's how you know it's really gonna be amazing cinematography And also they had a really good soundtrack because they picked songs that like are literally just on my playlist, like Frank Ocean, SZA, and all the songs like fit the moment. And like there's like a plot twist in there that you're just not expecting that to happen at all. I liked seeing where the movie went after that plot twist. And if I could watch that movie for the first time again, I absolutely would. Okay, next I'm really gonna talk about like shows, because I think that's like all my movie recommendations. Okay, a show that I highly recommend you guys watch is Ginny and Georgia. So they just came out with their season 3, and like as corny as Ginny and Georgia can be, we all have seen the clips of like, it's Friday, happy Friday, and I'm doing it, are you? So bad. Guys, as bad as it can be, it's such a good show. Like I feel like they really took like a more serious tone in season 3, and obviously there are still those like really cringy moments that like will just make you laugh and stuff. But like there were like plot twists left and right, like 8 to 10 episodes. They were able to do so much in that time, and it was so like actually well written. And I really liked seeing more perspective from like other characters like Max and stuff. Like that episode was really good. And just in general, like it's like such a fun watch. Like season 1 and 2 are very corny, but like I was still there. Like I still loved those seasons when they came out. But now you guys should definitely watch the newest season. Speaking of like Netflix shows that like people like can sometimes like make fun of and stuff, Squid Games. I was really a fan of how like they came out with the next season in like 6 months. Squid Games first came out when I was in 8th grade. I'm now entering my senior year. So like I was not about to wait another like 4 or 5 years to see another season, but it was really good. Like I liked the ending. I kind of expected it to go that way because obviously there can only be one winner, but it was really good. You guys should watch it. Another really good show is The OC. I feel like The OC just has like a lot of like summer vibes because it takes place in California, obviously. And the show is like very funny, but also very dramatic. And I still haven't finished watching that show because like I was saying before, that's just one of the shows that I just have to like take a pause on sometimes and then come back to. But I keep getting it spoiled, so it's making me want to watch it again. And the last show that I'm gonna recommend is The Summer I Turned Pretty. Obviously, everybody knows about this show, whether you've been keeping up with it on TikTok or you've just like heard about it in passing. It's also a very good show to watch during the summer. It's like pastime and stuff. I feel like the first season was definitely the best. The second season was like really corny, like it had me like cringing a lot, but like it was still worth the watch. The third season, I just started it last night. People say it's not as good as the first, but like I still really liked it, and I highly recommend that you guys watch it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna talk about for TV shows and movies. The next category is music. Recently, I feel like I've been reminded of some like albums that I used to love and listen to all the time. And like, I was just like, dang, like, I don't think they're like that anything gets better than this album. And that's why the first album that I'm gonna list is Control by SZA. I love that album. I think I love it more than SOS, and I like it more than SOS Deluxe or Lana or whatever it's called, because I just feel like there are no skips on the album. All the songs work so well together. Honestly, if SZA never released music after that, we would all have to learn to be okay with that, because there was nothing better that she could do. I like a lot of her newer music and stuff, but like I just feel like Control was just such a perfect album. Another album that I really like is This Is How Tomorrow Moves by Biba Doobie. That album, I feel like also like the songs work really well together. I've been listening to This Is How Tomorrow Moves on repeat recently. One of my favorite songs is Cruel Affair, and then I also like This Is How It Went, was also a really good one. Another album that I really like is Twilight by BoA. You guys might know them from that one song that got popular on TikTok like a couple years ago that's called Duvet. But I listened to that album like actually after that song got popular, and then I listened to it again recently and I was like, wow, like this is like so, like I just feel like I have the same thing to say about every single album, but like my music taste is kind of everywhere, but I like good music and I like good like bodies of work that work together. Do you know what I mean? So like that's also what I really appreciated about that album. Also, speaking of albums that work really well together, I was just listening to this like probably 2 hours ago at this point. Sincerely by Kali Uchis. I've also been a fan of her for a really long time now, and I feel like that album, the first time I listened to it, I didn't even know when the songs switched because the songs have like multiple parts in them, and I feel like everything from like the way she's singing to like the production, like even down to the lyrics, like it's just such a beautiful album. And like I just like it's so good, guys. Like I really highly recommend that you listen to that, like whether you're studying, about to sleep, about to go on a walk, about to take a shower, like listen to that album and you'll feel like you're levitating or something. Like it's that good. Another great album is Sweetener by Ariana Grande. Speaking of really good albums of hers, Positions. I didn't know that people hated that album because I'm not like a really big like Ariana Grande fan. Positions was also a solid album with like no skips except for 3435. I'm not a big fan of that one. It's literally perfect, and I just feel like that's like her style. Like I just felt like I saw so much of her in that album and it was really good. Another album that needs no explanation is Blonde by Frank Ocean. But I was really listening to Blonde the other day and I'm just like, this is another album where like every song works together and like it just like sounds like a really put together body of work. Okay, I'm still gonna talk about music, but more so it's just like songs and artists that I've liked a lot recently. Number one is Leve. Her voice is literally like magical. I really loved her album Everything I Know About Love and Bewitched, and I'm very excited for her third album to come out. Even if you're not really into like jazz and stuff like that, you should listen to her. Guys, this is gonna give performative, I know, but I've been liking Clairo a lot recently. I was really obsessed with her in like 2020 or something, and I would just have, I can't remember what it was called, but it was the one of her in the grass. Like that was literally on repeat in my bedroom, and I listened to that again recently and it like just brought me back to that time period. But also like in general, I really like her voice. And Immunity is also a really good album. Another one of my favorite songs recently is Sweet Thing by Chaka Khan and Rufus. Guys, if you haven't heard of that song, please go look it up and listen to it right now. I just feel like this is like a weird way of describing it, but like anytime something is just like very like sonically or aesthetically pleasing to me, I always say it tickles my brain. That's exactly how I feel about that song. So guys, you have to listen to it. It's that good. And guys, I think that is finally it. Oh my gosh, wait. I gotta take a sip of water. Okay. That is finally it out of all of my recommendations. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it very helpful. And like I said, if you made it to the end of this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and when you comment, let me know, is there anything that you want to recommend to me? I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!